This is Math Minutes with Majan Minds, where we're reviewing the skills you need for success in grade 11. Today's topic, square roots and cube roots. The important thing that you need to know in today's consideration is the square root of x really means x to the 1/2. Most of the time when we see a square root, we're going to write it as to the 1/2 power. Similarly, a third root, where there's a little 3 down in there, is the same as x to the 1/3. And I suppose if it helps you, you can see there's a 2 right there. We normally don't write that 2, but there's a little 2 down in there. So for this one, what are you often going to need to do with this guy? You're going to take 3x plus 7, and particularly when we do derivatives, you'll talk about that in grade 12, you're going to take this radical or square root and make it to a power of 1/2. On this question, we're going to do the exact same thing, except we're going to have x squared plus 2x inside of our brackets, and it's going to become this 3, so this is a 2 in there. This is going to become to the power of 1/3. This concept runs underneath a lot of the new concepts you're going to learn in grade 12, so it's extremely important. Well, what about this? Some of you might look at this and say, I have no idea what that becomes. But if we simplify it or change it to a fractional power, it's going to look like this. That is going to become x to the 1/2. And then, as in our previous video we learned, when you have a fraction with exponents like this, you can subtract. You can do 1 minus 1/2, and you keep the base the same, and the answer is going to be x to the 1/2, because 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. Now, furthermore, you could also say that this thing is equal to the square root of x. So you might need to know sometime along the way that that thing turns into square root of x. And finally, what is square root of x times square root of x? Well, that's going to be x to the 1/2 multiplied by x to the 1/2. So this then, according to what we learned in a previous video, if you have two monomials here multiplied together, you can take and write x and then add their exponents, which is going to be x to the 1st. So what do I want you to see here? Quite often in grade 12, you're going to be asked to do stuff to these functions, and in order to do what they're asking you to do, you're going to want to change them into fractional exponents. So square roots become 1/2, and third roots become 1/3. And if you're asked to do something like the 7th root of smiley face, that would become, just like we followed in these other ones, smiley face to the 1/7. So you can do it with any number here. It doesn't matter what's there. If you found this video useful, go ahead and subscribe in the top left, and then head on over to majanminds.com to check out more videos and resources.